Hi, this is Kagan on Tsargoth's Railcraft Minecraft server. I'm going to go back in and do a little bit more on Railcraft. As you recall, I'm combining Railcraft and Mistcraft to create another system of getting around to the different locations across the world. And I've been working on my roundhouse, if you will, but I'm right now working on the pieces to put together the railway system. And on the other side of the wall, if you will, I had put together some track and stuff, but I've left several gaps, and I want to go ahead and fill in some of those gaps. First off, I need something called a detector. Now, detectors have different types. They have item or any or empty. It all depends. You even have mob or powered ones. It all depends on what you're wanting to detect. And Railcraft has a whole bunch of these. However, for the system that I'm using, I needed a Detector-Player. What that does is when a cart goes over this detector, if there happens to be a player in that cart, then the output on the detector will give a redstone pulse. And the detector itself doesn't take much, really. It's just a bunch, if you will, of stone. And I do mean a bunch. And I need a couple of these, to be honest. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. You need stone slabs, and you also need pressure plates, all of stone. So these are very stone intensive for the player ones. Pressure plates go in the middle, stone slabs go around the edge. Just like this. And you get your player detectors. Now, as you recall, I had made mention of needing to put something in. Well, these are those somethings. And I put them in underneath. You have to put them in underneath the rails, of course. And depending on how you use them, you'll need to turn them or whatever. But since I'm using them to actually work on the rails themselves, I need them face up. So to do that, all I have to do is just mine out the block that they go in, like that, and place it down. You'll notice it has a dot. This is its output dot. It only has one face that has the dot. For me, I need that up. Now, I need another one over here. Don't go into the portal, please. Would not be good. Okay. Now, you remember these boarding tracks that I made? I need 2 of them. Boarding tracks are specialty track. I can't put it any more plainly. What they do is they hold a cart to be boarded, and until they have a signal that there is a player in them or something, be it animal or whatever, they will not let the cart go. And when they do let it go, it treats it as a powered track. It acts as powered track when it's got a redstone signal. So that's why I put the player detectors underneath them. You'll notice that it has a rough arrow shape on one side. That is to indicate the direction the cart is going to travel. So for instance, for this one, I need it to be a boarding track here because people are going to be coming from the roundhouse to this spot, and they will land in the cart on this boarding track. The track will then see that yes, there is someone in there, and it will launch them over here into this mess. Now, if I were to do it now, you would have a crash and get injured and all that sort of stuff because everything's incomplete. I need another track boarding track here, and it does follow generally your facing direction, so I want to get from behind, sort of. That way it points in the direction going out. So it looks something like that. And then I've got a few more tracks I need to create yet. But something else I want to get created is I had made mention of how much of a limited inventory those cart dispensers have. So I want to go ahead and make up my other little fun stuff here. First off, I need some pistons, and I need 2 of them. So we'll just make up a couple pistons. Everyone knows the standard Minecraft piston recipe. Some people are quite bored with it. Other people actually create crafting systems just so they don't have to do it themselves. Me, I just do it whenever I need to. 2 pistons. Okay. And then we need, let's see. They're called translocators. I think they've been covered before, but I'll just highlight them yet again. They're wonderful for single block transit, so you don't need like pipes or any sort of fancy things. So it's just a piston, 2 pieces of iron, a piece of gold, 4 redstone, and ender pearl. And of course I'm missing my gold. Not a problem. We'll go upstairs. I need to get 2 pieces of gold. So 1 more jump. I love the elevator blocks. Sometimes they love me. Come up here and get our gold. And then we'll make these translocators. Now, nice thing about translocators is you have item, you have liquid, and like I said, they work for very short distances. So it makes it nice for like what I'm doing here, where I'm just going to be going in and out of an ender chest that's fairly close to the containers. In this case, the cart dispensers. Pistons in the middle, ender pearls at the top, and redstone. Now, for each recipe of this, 1 redstone, or 4 redstone, 2 iron ingots, 1 gold, 1 piston, 1 ender pearl, you get a pair of item translocators. So in all honesty, I'm making 4, because I need 2 sets. They work in pairs. They do not work in odd sets. Has to be in pairs. One's an output, one's an input. Now, I've not actually tried, I will admit this, I've not actually tried seeing what happens if you have 2 outs for a single in, because I do believe they are limited. And I know I've made these before, or at least mentioned them before, because as you see, this is my system for feeding in the fertilizer to my farm. So I have mentioned them before. Now just get back over here to my workstation. And here we are. Now, cart dispensers can go any which way, so the translocators don't care which side they're on, just as long as they're within the same square as one another. So this one will be input, and this one will be input. Now, anytime the cart dispenser here picks up a cart, it will immediately go into the ender chest storage. Ender chest storage, since it's an ender chest, is universal across the server. So I will be making a lot of these ender chests, black, white, black, probably a lot of translocators, and definitely a lot of cart dispensers to go with the different stations around the server. So we're coming along. I do need to make 3 more specialties. As you see, we're still missing 3 pieces of track. And I think I have just about everything I need to make one of them. But before I make that, I actually need to make a tool. Railcraft's standard tool is called a crowbar. And once I get up here, I need to make one, because the next track I want to make for you is a directional track. It allows you to change your track. As you notice, there is a definite sort of junction there, but not an intersection junction, just, where 2 tracks merge together to one. So I need to create this crowbar. I'll show you what it's for. And crowbars are handy. You just need 3 pieces of iron and 4 pieces of dye. So we have our iron up here. And around the corner we have our dye. And now we can make our crowbar. Now, crowbars are used for several things in Railcraft. One is for switch levers. Another one is for the directional facing of the tracks. Like, for instance, I showed you on the boarding tracks, there is that arrow. Should you not be able to get in a position where you can face that arrow correctly, you then use the crowbar, and you would right-click on the track to actually reverse its direction. There are several tracks in Railcraft that are directional, one-way gated, etc. And again, if you cannot get in the right spot to get it in the right direction you want it to go, that's when you use the crowbar. Now, this one track that I want to make is kind of funky. So we need to, number 1, make another wooden rail bed, which of course is creosote and wood. The wood slabs. So I need 4 of these. My inventory is getting full. 2, 3, and 4. But that's okay. That's what inventory is for, right? So up here, and we'll make our rail bed. I want to show you what it's called here. The track I'm going to make is called a switch track. And as you see, it takes one rail bed, only this time it takes 8 of those standard rails. Remember how I said that you need a lot of them for Railcraft? You do. So, gotta make up some... Oh, I got the slabs. Never mind. I forgot. 4, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, on with our wooden ties. Yeah, the switch track allows you to basically make a choice of direction A or direction B. Coming from either direction, the track automatically knows what it's doing, so you don't derail. Where it comes in handy is if you are going to split off from one direction to another. So let me get this set up with all the standard rails. Oops, can't do that yet. Gotta make the rail bed first. Does kind of help. One wooden rail bed. 8 standard rails. Make 16 of these things. I love the output for Railcraft. It means I don't have to make a bunch of this one at a time. Now, go over to the spot. And this may or may not work because I don't have the other track in that I need to make. But I'm going to cheat. For right now, I'm going to put a regular track in. Need that. Do not need the shovel. I'm going to put a regular track in. And as you see, the track does align in one direction. I believe it's north-south by default, except when you put in a track beside it, and then it of course lines up to it. If I were to put these tracks side by side, which you notice I've created a gap of 1 in between there, if I were to put them side by side, they'd actually hook together and create a complete mess of things. So that's why when doing this system, you'll want to leave yourself a little bit of room. Okay, now the switch track. Put it in, and you'll see that it's not quite right, because what it's doing is actually going to send carts from here across this rail back that way. So it's obviously wrong. So now we need the crowbar to change its direction. Now the cart comes around here and follows this, and then follows the metal path here to go that way. Now you'll notice it doesn't connect up. That's fine, because it doesn't have to. As long as there is a way for the cart to go safely, this will automatically shove over. Now if I were coming from the other direction, say from there, which is not the way it's going to come from, but where it's going to, then it would go straight on. However, coming from over this way, it would have the choice, which is why it's open. Because the boarding track is going to send it on down the rails here, and since I am leaving this open and not closed, it will then continue straight, which is what I need it to do. I hope you've enjoyed this part of it, and I've got at least one more part to do to show you what's going to take place here at this track and there at that track. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you soon, I hope. Thank you, and goodbye.